So, I know you like hearing from me, despite reply shortcomings that bother you about yourself, but have never bothered me about you. Because I have the exact same flaw, I thought you should be the first to hear my news. I think I'm technically done with what I would consider my first real painting. I'm going to send you the first completed pic I take. It's going to be poorly lit and strange how I obscure the just finished painting with an object right in front of it. Then, I'm going to give an artist's honest attempt at self-critique of the work, but I'm going to leave out the most important part about what it means. Here we go. Bam! Just one pic, not framed carefully. Self-critique, also work of art, it's probably the most aesthetically pleasing thing I've done yet, but mainly to people who don't know or care much about art. It kind of achieves that Pollock effect, but it probably has more in common with all the boring imitators he inspired. Essentially, it's just colors and shapes that are generally nice. It's also interesting because it's huge. Huge art is inherently more interesting than the exact same thing but smaller. A closer evaluation will reveal it's very textured because so much paint went on it over months of work, but not months of hard work. I essentially used a huge canvas to practice pouring acrylics. And if I showed you different pours in different spots, you'd notice I definitely got better at pouring. However, that progress actually leads to stylistic inconsistencies that increased over time. I got bored with the painting because I got bored with pouring, so it hovered at 90% done for months. The final part was text, definitely the most complicated process from an artistic perspective. Also, the only part of the painting where I actually achieved what I intended to achieve. It's probably the only part I should feel proud of, but it's the hardest part because the process sucked. It was tedious and joyless, but I'm glad I did what I wanted and honestly, the text looks clean. Grade, I don't know and should probably care more. Somewhere between 5/10 and 7/10. Final part, the poetry is commentary on the impact of Hegel's either number one or number two most important idea. When regarding the idea linguistically, I think it's one of the most beautiful concepts I've encountered. Granted, I do not speak the language that Hegel spoke, so I'm definitely lacking understanding. On one level, but hopefully just one, what's lost in translation? From what I've gathered, Aufheben is beautiful on one additional level in German, because the language can communicate a certain complexity that English cannot. But remember, this is a philosophical critique, not a love letter. I'm getting to the end in the omission now. Sounds like you love Aufheben. How is it a critique? Well, I did say linguistically before the compliment. As philosophy, I think he's objectively wrong. More importantly, his idea has traveled this weird, inorganic path along the past 200 years of human history, which happens to be the other number one or number two idea from Hegel, except that one is actually strong philosophy and correct in some way. And what has this weird to year journey amounted to? A beautiful but wrong idea that has created speakable evil. We can talk about it and should talk about it more. As to the remaining question and what my poetry intends to communicate at large, the omission. If you are still with me, first of all, bravo. Remember, I'm a teacher now, so do the final part of interpretation yourself. Or don't, honestly, but really, if you made it this far, you deserve to go it alone from here and discover it alone, like I did. The end.